Hello, my name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and I'm reaching out to all of you beautiful souls out there. I hope you're able to get out in nature, because I know in this area it's really beautiful out right now, and Starlight still has to get out. I had a lot of running around to do this morning. So anyway, besides that, if you are new to my YouTube channel, welcome, and you can find Starlight on YouTube, and that is at Starlight, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman. Plus, you could give this video a thumbs up, and you could subscribe to my YouTube channel. And don't forget, you can leave me a message down below, beep, beep, beep. Plus, you could also share these videos with your family, a friend. Let me see, I'm thinking of animals. A seagull, and let me see, a possum. Plus, besides that, you can also check out my playlist. Don't forget the notification bell like Starlight did, ding, ding, ding. And you can also find me on YouTube, at Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that's Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. So anyway, here we go. This is for people that you could be in a relationship right now, or we're all in different areas in our life. Whether we're single and we want to stay single, and then there's people that are single that are hoping to get with somebody, and then there are people that are in relationships that are miserable and wish they weren't where they are, and then there's other people that are married. They actually, got married. They got a ring on their finger, and they realize that shit, I messed up. I got with the wrong one. So just to let you know on that note is, I was taught this long time ago because I was in church, once you're married until death, and my whole viewpoint on that is these days now you see more people than ever getting divorced because something didn't quite go right, and there's so many ways of why things did not go right. A lot of times I have to say it's because a lot of people are impatient. They are absolutely impatient. They don't want to wait. And, Starlight's old-fashioned when it comes to this. Not that I've been like this my whole life, but ever since I started going to church, and not that I am perfect. No, Starlight has definitely, proved not to be perfect about having sex without being married. I have two adult kids, and Starlight has never been legally married. Absolutely not. And I thank God for that, is because, I've been asked to get married a couple times, and, close to being married at one time, but never legally married. So I'm old-fashioned though right now, is because I've learned throughout my life is I'm not giving myself up to any man unless he can commit. So commitment is very serious. Getting in relationships is one of the most important decision-making things that you can do, as far as being in this life. So this video is to help you to find out why you haven't found that one. Why, and I am single. So why has Starlight not found that one? And I have to say, when it comes to any one of those kind of relationships, and, for the people that are single, that they say, they are happy just the way they are, because I've met those out there, that they are happy with their single life and they don't want to get in a relationship. And I'm not saying this is always, but to me, a lot of times that means that, they're looking at the other person of how they've been wronged. A lot of times they're not looking at their own selves of where they need to grow, and that they need to work on things in their own being, that they got a lot of inward work. They got a lot of shadows that they got to face, because when relationships happen, it's a two-way, there's two people involved, so there's times that somebody could do you wrong, but if you let them do wrong to you, then you're just as fault as them doing the wrong to you. And that a lot of that might not really go good to you, thinking, well, hey, they should not have done that. Yeah, you're probably right. They should not have done that. But how long did you let it go on, for, and there's times that we have lessons to learn on how we let people treat us. So we shouldn't let people disrespect us, number one. And there's times that we, because of our past, that we don't, you got to respect yourself first in order for other people to respect you. So that helps you to be strong, where you're like, what, I respect myself enough that I'm not going to let you treat me like that anymore. And out the door, you get out of here, because I'd rather be single, knowing the truth, than to be in a relationship and live a lie with somebody that is not going to be true to me and be honest with me, where, I desire to be in a relationship where I trust them to go out of the house without questioning what are they up to, So patience is a big thing with a lot of people in this world. And do you think it's getting better? With it would be great to say it's getting better, but I just heard on the radio not too long ago, and it was really something, because I didn't start that young. It was 11-year-old, and it was a radio station that has a lot of strange things on it. I like listening to it because I learn. And so they have Tell Me Your Dirty Little Secret, so you can get on the radio station, and there's no age limit, I don't think. You can call that number and say, hey, I have, Starlight's got a dirty little secret. And then you're going to reveal that little secret out on the radio, So there's a lot of funky calls that go on that. Then they have How to Catch a Cheater. Then they got a prank one that somebody, I heard one that got me laughing so hard. It was so hilarious. I'm like, oh my, that is so funny. The guy that acted it out did an excellent job. And there's another thing that they have is, like if you went on a date and if you were ghosted, So those are the three things that I'm aware of on this radio station. But what is your dirty little secret? 11-year-old got on there and said, yes, I have a dirty little secret. And they're like, I wish they, the DJs that were on there, I wish they didn't say what they did, because they didn't really say the right thing. It was just not the right thing to say to an 11-year-old. And the little 11-year-old girl says, yeah, my dirty little secret is that I'm not supposed to date anyone right now, And her mom and dad said, you're not allowed to date until you're 16 years old. Good luck on that. So she's secretly dating, a boy. And, so the lady DJ on the radio station said, acting like it was not so bad, and that, she was, dating boys, younger than that. And I'm like, no, that's not what you want to tell an 11-year-old, So, they could have came up with something much better, because this world, you never know. It's a dangerous world we live in today than when I was a kid, because we got the internet, There's a lot of girls and boys, and I have been there myself, which I don't want to get all mixed up with this right now. I just kind of want to share this. There's a lot of people, which a lot of private investigators go on different websites to try to catch people, but really, I have witnessed stuff myself where men do meet at libraries, and they sit around children, in the library, starting conversations. And, that child, I witnessed this in Schenectady, where a child went to a library and, they build up confidence, and, they know they're little, that it's dangerous, to let your kids out, even if they go out to the library, because there could be strangers that are out there looking to find these young boys or little girls, to make them feel like they have a friend out there in the community. So it is very dangerous. And like with that 11-year-old, you never know, who is she dating, Is it really a boy her age? Or, Starlight, like, to be honest with you, the guys that, I have to say men, but when I started out, they were, like, it was jailbait, they could have gotten arrested for messing around with Starlight. So I say this because of experience. For some reason, it was men that were much older than Starlight. They weren't like, not all of them were men my age. But I didn't start out at 11 years old. I had no clue. I only would see boys as, you're a good looking boy. That's it. Only looks. I wasn't thinking of sex. I didn't even know nothing about that stuff. So I didn't understand that stuff until I got much older. So anyway, now to get back on track is, a lot of times people are impatient and they want things right away. And I know a lot of people right now, either they're on my YouTube channel where, a lady a while back was hoping that, this was love. And I'm thinking, Melanie, that's too quick to say already about, you don't want to jump right away and, think about love when you're meeting a stranger, you don't know. And, like, I have people wanting to call me my friend, hey, this is my friend. No, we're not friends. So it's a step by step, you can't force a relationship on somebody, and you got to find out, can we even be friends first? So patience is a big problem. And also is, do you love yourself? How is your relationship with yourself? Sorry, Starlight had some stuff that I took recently. How's your relationship with yourself? Do you love spending time alone with yourself? Starlight does. So, if you can't handle being around yourself and you have a hard time, you really want to get to know who you are, and, before you go running out to try to get hooked up with a man or a girl. And just because you see other people out in the world that have a boyfriend or girlfriend, it doesn't mean that they're in a happy relationship. I have to say, I meet more people that are miserable in the relationship they are in than I meet people that are actually happy with the person that they're involved with, so. And I have met many people, even when I had my cleaning business, that would complain about their spouse when their spouse wasn't around. So, you gotta, it is not really worth, just to say that I'm in a relationship so you can complain either to yourself about the person, because there's some people they want to deceive everybody and say, hey, yeah, I'm in a relationship, but they might hide that, man, she's a bitch or he's an asshole, but we're living together, and there's a lot of relationships out there. They're miserable and they're just kind of using each other to get through. And just like people that have jobs that they're miserable. I met a girl today. She helps out people with handicaps that are disabled. And we, at this refuge place that I go to today, we were able to, if we wanted to, there was no pressure. We can stand up or sit down and say what we're grateful for. And I thought it was beautiful because she said, I am grateful for the job I have because I'm happy. And so I talked to her later and I said, hey, that is great. A lot of people are not happy with their job. Are you happy in the relationship? Are you, Starlight loves spending time with herself, and you got to also, do you believe that you can have a good, healthy, happy relationship? Some of us, might not believe that, hey, you're too good for me. I see that all these things that you have in you, and maybe you think the person that you desire in your life is too good, that that you never can measure up to them. And that just means that those people need to actually get healed, that you gotta, and it's letting go of layers of abuse that you've gone through in your past, things that you've were past relationships or what kind of family you came came from is, there's times that you might have not felt good. Maybe you only felt you only deserve to be in abusive relationships, because that happens to men and women, that they get so used to being in abusive relationships, they actually have a hard time seeing themselves in a healthy, happy relationship, because it's something they're not used to, and it could scare them, not really thinking that that person really desires to be them. So they might have a hard time believing that they are worthy enough to even have that kind of healthy, happy relationship with that one out there. So that means that you have to really do some more inner work inside of you and spend time with yourself. And, it is okay to give yourself a hug, and, this is, I know this is hard for me because I'm in the library here, is to love yourself and spend some time with yourself, and don't be so hard on yourself. And, you need a deeper relationship with yourself, because really spending time with yourself is how you're going to find that one that you're searching for, because the one that you're searching for is not outside of you, but inside. So if you're being hard on yourself all the time and, beating yourself up and not respecting yourself and not letting yourself to go out in life, and you need to go out and do different things out in public, and not to be ashamed of who you are, and love yourself. And there's going to be times the universe is going to test us and make us feel that we're not worthy enough to even have that kind of relationship we really desire in our heart space. So, you might not be really trusting yourself to believe that you're even worthy enough to spend the rest of your life with someone. And I just heard a beautiful thing on my on YouTube yesterday, and I'm like, wow. So I want to really check out what more this lady had on her YouTube channel, because I got a lot of help. I mean, it was like almost a half hour of a video, but I was like, wow, I never even, thought of that. But you got to understand that we're all kings and queens, and we are powerful, and we got to take our power back. And there's things about us, all of us, that we're not even aware of. So the more you find out who you are, you can check out your sign, your date of birth, and find out more of who you are and what kind of guy and girl are you, would be compatible to be in a relationship. Find out, about that sign out there. I know the signs that I would be great to be with as far as a man goes, so we got to really do that inner work and deal with past traumas, and past relationships, and face those things, and to do those. And we have to trust ourselves. And, when you realize the kind of guy or girl that you desire to be with, and it takes time. It doesn't happen overnight, and that's the thing. Everybody wants everything instant and right now. And what I do is, this will really help you if you got a problem with being patient, is I go to different places and I do weird things, and people are like, ooh, sorry about that. And like today this happened, is that I was getting some food at the refuge today because I wanted to make a chili. Starlight likes spicy food, and so I was kind of in a corner here where all the food is, and then there was a man that works at the refuge, and there's a refrigerator right here, and he's trying to put food in there, and I'm over here and I can't get through. But you know what I am? I teach myself patience all the time. So teach yourself patience look for ways that you can teach yourself to be patient. Stop, like when you get in the car and you're driving. I used to be like this, where I was in the car and it's like, vroom, I wanted to just keep going. I didn't want anybody to get in my way. If the speed limit said certain, sign, I would expect that person to be at least doing that speed limit sign. And if they were slower, then my stress level was really not good. And the other thing that I do is teach myself, so now I'm like, you know what? I'm not in a rush anymore when I'm in the car. I'm not in a rush for people to get out of my way. I have so many people that tell me, ooh, I'm sorry. And I go, no, I am very patient. God has been teaching me patience. I'm a very patient person. That's what I say a lot. I say this. And then at the library, one of the libraries that I go to, there's like 3 double doors out front. everybody that I see, they actually will grab a hold of the door and pull it open. A lot of those doors are actually pretty tough to actually open. They're not like, they don't open up easily. And a lot of times Starlight's got so much bags in her hands with a whole bunch of weight. And then I got my pocketbook, so I don't really have any hands. So there's the handicap little push button to get in the library. The funny thing is, the only people that use that really is me or people in a wheelchair that I've ever seen, is because when you push that button, the door doesn't open up quick. It just, it opens up really slow. And I purposely actually go and push that button, even if I don't have a whole bunch of stuff to carry, because I'm like, I need to be patient. I'm just gonna, when that door opens up, I'm going to get in there. And then there's another button inside, and so teach yourself how to be patient in any which way that you can. When you're at the grocery store, where do you go to get, like wherever you go to get your food, test yourself instead of going, to the self-service, which Starlight doesn't do it. If you got actually where they have do you have a human being at your grocery store? Well, instead of going to the self-service, get in line, and just like smile. Really, if you learn patience, and that's what, good things come to those who wait. So there's things that, I desire to have in my life, but I got work to do. Some of you thinking, Starlight, you're a great girl. You should be able to just get the guy that you desire, but you don't understand. I have work in here to do. I know some of you on my YouTube channel, you want it right away. You're like, hey, I've been single for a long time. I bet you I've been single longer than you. I'm going to be a virgin soon, and it doesn't matter to me, because you know what? I'm willing to do the inner work inside of me. So, I don't want to take the shortcut and just go get any Tom, Dick, or Harry. We're good. I got too much to offer to give to a man that's not doing the inner work himself. I desire to have a man that's going to respect me. My whole time, through my whole life, I have not had a man to respect me or not to be abusive, so it's about really going slow, and doing the inner work and working on yourself and finding out more about what you need to work on so you can find the right kind of man or woman that you desire in your life. And it does take patience, and you got to learn to love yourself and, really find ways that you can actually do that inner work by loving yourself and loving your flaws and dealing with your emotions. How are you when things don't go the way you want? In the past, I dealt with men that had rage like you would not, that would scare the blank out of you, like Starlight. Where did Starlight go? Starlight's running, are you that kind of guy or girl where, when the littlest things go on and you're flipping mad and you're ticked off? Is that so those are things that you need to work on. You need to deal with that anger. You need to deal with those emotions. And that is something that we're not used to. My whole life, I ran away from those. I like, ooh, that doesn't feel good. Now I'm learning to embrace. I was doing that this morning for, all kinds of emotions. That I did this meditation for twin flame separation meditation for dealing with different emotions that we deal with on different times in our life, throughout the week or throughout the month. Somebody would get you upset or angry. And a lot of times we don't want to face those emotions, but we need to feel them out, and it's okay. There's times that, those different emotions has helped us at different times that we needed to express ourselves. When somebody does us wrong, those emotions come in, but we don't want to, throw them away. We gotta embrace them and feel them out, and to realize it's okay to feel angry. It's okay, to be upset. it's okay, to be afraid at times. We have those emotions for reasons. So you don't want to run away and block them out. You want to embrace them when they come so you can heal through that. And that's going to help you in your relationship that you need. You don't want to scare that girl. I've lived in my past. I have lived in so much fear. I could cry like a little baby right now. Really, the fear that I have lived with, in past relationships. That is why it's so important, to really be patient and, do the inner work. And the person that you want to get involved with, they got work too. It's not just one-sided, and it's good to find that one that's going to be real and honest with you. And they're not going to, I heard a beautiful message today about, and I loved it because, Starlight desires to have a man to tell me what I need to hear and not what I want to hear, because tell me what I want to hear is not going to help me. It's gonna hurt me more than help me. So if you're a guy or a girl that always just like lies, that's what it is. It's lying. It's not being honest. So if you're lying to that person and saying, "Oh yeah, don't worry, you're doing good," when they're not doing good, well, you're lying to them, and you're not just lying to them. You're lying to yourself. You're not even being honest or real with yourself. So how could anybody expect you to be real with anybody else? So you've got to, emotions is a big, huge part, as far as relationships go. You don't, if you're not healed emotionally wise, you're not ready for that relationship yet. If you, like somebody says something and you can't handle the truth when they tell you point blank and they're being honest and real, that, hey, you need to work on yourself, and then you're upset and you're angry, and it's just that the truth hurts, and we need to deal with that truth, and we got to do something about it. We have to do that inner work. I love you so much, so be patient, and don't be in a rush. Don't be in a rush, because that's the way society is teaching us, is to be in a rush. Learn patience is by, go the long way home. When you're in the store, get in a line that's long. Look for ways to teach yourself patience, and to teach yourself, no, you're not. It's disciplining yourself. Can you discipline yourself enough to say, like a little spoiled brat, no, you're not getting it right now. You're going to, and with food, you can discipline yourself in so many ways. I am doing this right now is, no, you know what? Tomorrow I'm invited, not tomorrow, but Thursday, I'm going to go to this lady's house that's in charge of the refuge. She's got a beautiful family, and they're inviting me to, not just me, but anybody that, would like to, spend time with her and her family, to get together on Thanksgiving Day. So, it is good to get out and do that. So that's what I'm going to do. So, you got to really just be, now I forgot why I was saying that. So I'm going to be getting out on Thanksgiving Day, but it's good to get out on Thanksgiving Day and get around other people. But you really gotta be patient and wait for the right one in your life. And, you will be grateful, that you were patient enough to wait. Isn't it worth the wait? Some of you are like, no, I want it now. And a lot of times people want it now is because they're really thinking about sexual desires. They've been lonely. I hear this. I hear this so much by men everywhere I've traveled, and not just men, but women go through this too. Is that it's been so long they haven't. It's like, well, that shouldn't be the only reason why you want to get in a relationship. So and that's why a lot of people end up going out and just going to the bar. They weren't patient enough to wait and work, do the work on inside of them, that they just go out and, like take the shortcut and like, oh yeah, that filled me up for the night. Well, now you're going to want more. It's not going to help you. It's going to make things worse. It doesn't make anything better by just doing the quick fix thing. So anyway, I do love you, and I know this video is getting long, but I really hope you have a great Thanksgiving. And those of you that are not going to be with anybody, if there's somebody that you could spend time with, like Starlight is try to find a place that you would feel safe and comfortable and relaxed. You don't want to be around people that's going to make you, make things come out of you that's not good. So that's not really healthy for you to do that. But I really hope you have a great Thanksgiving with your family or friends, or even if you're going to have Thanksgiving by yourself. And anyway, I love you. This is Starlight. You could give this video a thumbs up. You could subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, you could leave a message down below, beep, beep, beep. And you could share my videos with your family, your friends. Let's see. You could share my videos with a hippopotamus. And I don't want to pick on the turkey because that poor turkey is gobble, gobble, gobble right now. The poor turkey. Starlight does not eat animals, for those of you that don't know that. But you can also share this video with a monkey. Starlight likes to monkey around. And also, don't forget you could leave a message down below, beep, 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 and you could you could check out my playlist. Plus, you can find me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman. And don't forget, if you give this, if you watch this video, if you subscribe to this video, if you give this video a thumbs up and leave a message down below, Starlight will give you 5 stars. I love you so much, and patience, really be patient. Stop, like I said, go around, look for opportunities that you could say, nope, oh, that's what I was saying is I'm going to be going to that Thanksgiving dinner. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to discipline myself and say, no, Starlight, no, Starlight, no. Like today, they were like, hey, anybody want pumpkin? Anybody take all the pumpkin you want? Pumpkin pie, here you go. And I'm like, I love pumpkin pie, but no, Starlight's not going to eat pumpkin pie. We're good. So that's what I was saying earlier is that, no, I'm going to discipline myself. Discipline yourself. Treat like the way you are with your children. Well, maybe you shouldn't treat yourself like that, because I don't know how you treat your kids. But, you got to discipline yourself and say, nope, nuh-uh, I'm the boss. No, you're not the boss. I'm the boss. I am going to run this show, So anyway, I do love you. This is Starlight, and have a great Thanksgiving. This is Starlight. Namaste. Starlight, love, light, and peace. Oh, I learned this is F you and this is peace. So Starlight's been telling everybody to F you when I didn't mean that. Starlight, peace.